We're going to be doing a lab called titrations. And in this lab, you will have an acid and a base. One of the solutions, you will know the concentration, and you will be doing this technique to determine the concentration of the other, which will be unknown. So you will have long Buret tubes that are marked off for measurements of volume. And then you will have some type of flask underneath that will have a determined volume of one of your substances. So you'll know the volume of both. You will know the concentration of one, and you're trying to determine the concentration of the unknown. So you will be using an acid and a base, and you're going to want to prep your Buret tube with the base. And so for our lab, we're going to know the concentration of the base. So what you'll do is you'll pour some base through your Buret tube, and this knob turns it on and off to allow the liquid to flow through. So you'll want to open it up so some can flow through and get some of the space in the tip so you won't have an air bubble. You will also want to make sure that wearing your goggles, you're going to fill the tube below eye level, because if you fill it below or above eye level and it spills, that's going in your eyes. So you want to make sure with goggles on, so that's her problem, she doesn't have goggles, you're filling it below eye level. And you're going to record how much base you add in your Buret tube. So like I said, it's got volume markings on here. So you want to write down how many milliliters you've added. Then the flask that you'll put below, you're going to put a specified volume of your acid. And so, for example, maybe you put 20 milliliters, but you know how much volume you're adding of your acid. You will not know the concentration of your acid. So you want to record your volume of acid that you've added. Then we're going to use phenolphthalein as our indicator. So you're going to add 2 drops of phenolphthalein to your acid flask that will go below your Buret tube that has the base in it. And you're going to want to put a white piece of paper below this flask, because when you start out, this acid is going to be clear, and you can see it's got a light pink tint here, and that's what you're trying to achieve. So as you add base, it's going to eventually turn this light pink color, and so that white piece of paper below helps you see that color. And so now here's how you're going to start. So you'll slowly start adding base to your acid very gently, and you're going to want to swirl the flask to help those get mixed in. Once the acid turns pink, you're going to want to stop. So see this very light pink color. Then you're going to stop adding your base. So you're going to do this very slowly. So you're going to put a couple drops, swirl the flask, add a couple more drops, swirl the flask until it turns this light pink color, and it stays that color, because you might get it this pink color, you swirl it, and then it goes back clear. So this is going to be a very, very slow, tedious process. If you add too much of the base and you turn this dark pink color, you've gone too far and you've messed up and you have to start over. So then you're going to record the final volume of base, and then you're kind of calculate how much of the base that you've used. So maybe you added 50 milliliters and the final reading says 20 milliliters. So that means you've used 30 milliliters of base. So final minus the initial will give you the total amount of the base that you've used. So this is the information that we'll know. We will know the molarity of the base and the volume. You're looking for the molarity of the acid, and you will know the volume. So molarity times volume of the base should equal molarity times volume of your acid, and you can calculate then the acid molarity.